Hey, it's Matt from Florida Boy Survival again. I'm going to do a little field testing of our Szco M9 knife. I'm out in the woods behind my house. It's really cool. So this community that's got these trails cut through it, so we're going to walk down. Here's my Szco M9 that I have with me. So let's take a walk and see what we can see to test. Here's what we have in Florida. We have tons of palmettos, tons of ferns. We have big palmettos and palm trees, oaks, big oaks, giant vines. It's a big tangle of vines. I don't think anything's going to be a problem for the Szco, but we're going to walk along, and as we walk along and find stuff, we're going to tackle it. So I'll be right back. Okay, here's our first candidate. This is a giant vine, and it's attached to a giant stand of vines all the way up this tree. So you can cut these vines. They're really good to use as cordage and other things, but we're going to see how this cuts this vine. Not bad. Next up, we have our giant palmetto. Pretty easy to get through, but great for building shelters, keeping you out of the rain, everything else. Let's cut some nice green ones and see how it does. Not bad. It's pretty cool walking. I actually used the back saw blade of the Szco to finish cutting through the underside of that palm leaf. Made short work of that. Made short work of the vines. It's pretty light duty stuff. You could even do that with the Harbor Freight. But we're coming up to something else that we have in Florida that's going to be really, really interesting. And I've never tried to cut it before with a knife. I don't think I'm going to have a real problem. But what I'm talking about is, here's a huge stand of wild bamboo. We've used this for a million things in Florida, a million things everywhere else. Look at that bamboo. There's some really larger stands over there. So we're going to try to cut through a couple of these and see how it works. All right, here's a nice green one. Let's see what we can do. Sawtooth time. Not bad. Okay, coming back down the trail now. Not bad. You see me, I actually used the top saw blade to cut through some of that bamboo. Saw blade's pretty sharp. If you use it to cut too much stuff though, it's going to dull up pretty quick. I don't know how much you're going to be able to use that for, but if it'll cut that stuff, it'll cut through these vines. There's the vine that I cut through. It's about that thick for comparison. If it'll cut through that stuff, you won't have any problem cutting through oak sticks. I don't know about batoning logs, but in Florida there's enough stuff to scrounge up to make a fire with. I mean, I'll show you a few things. All you gotta do is look around. There's it's a million oak twigs and old rotten pieces of oak logs laying on the ground like this big all over the place. You don't really have to cut down any trees or do anything else in Florida. It's all just here waiting for you. You know, pine needles, pine cones. I mean, you're walking around in the swamps in Florida, you have a virtual smorgasbord of wood and opportunities to make a fire, which is what we're going to do in a few minutes. So we're going to see how the striker works. Be right back. Okay, here we go. Fire test. I got a cheap, well, it's not cheap. This is the Camelus ferro rod that came along with my Camelus set that I reviewed a while back. Well, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. My wife has a whole bag of dryer lint. We're gonna see how this strikes and works. It's rained a lot. Everything's really wet. A little bit of palm leaf, dead palm leaf, full of oil, wet or dry, they burn. Let's see how it strikes. I tried it before. It doesn't strike worth a shit on this side unless I'm left-handed, because the bevel goes that way. It won't get any spark. So I'm gonna have to, can't strike it on there, so I'm gonna have to strike it either on the back or the front. Alright, took a minute, but we're going now. Everything's really wet. It's been raining really hard in Central Florida. There you go. With a little help, that'll go. So, there's a fire. And I cut it off just a little bit too soon, because it is going now. So, be back with you shortly. Okay, so what did we learn today? We learned that the M9, Szco M9, it's not bad. I'm not sure about a bayonet, but it's not going to be a bad survival field knife. You know, I didn't really do anything heavy duty on it today. I just did some light chopping, some light cutting, you know, little fire starting. The saw teeth work pretty good. Blade's sharp enough to do some stuff. Might suck as a bayonet, but I think it's going to be a pretty good trail knife. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks. It is April 1st, 2016, April Fool's Day. And just to make everybody jealous, it's going to be 90 degrees in Central Florida today, so I'm going to go inside and turn the air conditioner on. Once again, Matt from Florida Boy Survival. See ya.